Hi guys, I wanted to do another preschool science experiment with you. This one is called naked eggs. I bet you guys didn't know, but if you take eggs and you soak them in vinegar, the shells will come off and you'll be able to see what's inside the eggs. This takes a couple of days, but it's really easy. All you need are eggs and vinegar. So I'm going to take 2 eggs. Come on in closer, Em. And I put them down just in a container with vinegar. I'm going to go ahead and pour some more vinegar in there until they're covered up, like completely covered by the vinegar. And then I'm just going to take this and put it in my fridge. And tomorrow morning we're going to check it and see what's happened so far, and we'll check in with you then. Hey guys, we're about to check our eggs today to see what's happened to them. It's been 1 day since we put them in. We're going to open this up. Come on in here, Emma, so they can see. So all of that foamy, gross stuff you see in the water, that's your eggshell disappearing. And if you pick them up and touch them, there's still quite a lot of shell left, but it's really soft to the touch and very easy to break.
Oh, it bounced. Let's that up and bounce it.
But it didn't break. So I'm going to set the eggs over here, and then I'm going to dump this out and rinse it really quick and put some more vinegar in, so you can pause for a sec. Okay, so our egg shells are really soft. There's hardly any left of them. I'm going to put them back in my container. They feel really weird too. I can't wait for you guys to try this and see what you think of yourselves. And I'm just going to pour more vinegar in here. Just cover them back up again with vinegar.
You can kind of see the yolk.
You can see the yolk starting to show through your right hand. So I'm going to cover them back up with vinegar, and then I'm going to stick them back in the fridge, and we'll check them again tomorrow and see what's happened. So, hey guys, we're ready to check our naked eggs and see what's happened to them today. So I'm going to open this up. Come on in close, Emma, so we can see. As you can see, there's bubbles all around them, and they're kind of bigger than eggs usually are. I'm going to go ahead and rinse them off really fast in the...
Hey, how come they do that?
Because they absorb the... Good question. They absorb the vinegar because this shell, the membrane, is porous, so it actually absorbs from there. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse them off, and then we'll take a closer look at them. So just one, you can pause. Okay, here's our egg now that the shell is all gone. And I bet you guys maybe knew this, but an egg is one single cell. So I thought I could tell you what parts an egg has. So we dissolve the shell, which is the outer wall of the egg, and then this very thin layer is called the membrane. And I accidentally poked a little hole in ours, so it's leaking, but it's not supposed to do that. Normally, if you're careful, it won't do that. And if you look closely, you can see that there's our yolk right here. Right in there's the yolk. And then this white part is called the albumin. The albumin is mostly water. There's about 5% protein. The yolk is made up of protein, and that's what our chick develops from. These ones won't develop, obviously, because they weren't fertilized. But that is exactly what our eggs looked like before they started to turn into chicks. And now, this is kind of fun because you can feel it and touch it, and it's kind of squishy, but you have to be very careful.
Can I throw it?
You cannot throw it. They do bounce. If you're careful, they'll bounce a little, but you have to be really careful because they'll break really easily, moms. So we're going to do one more experiment with these. I told you before that the membrane is porous, and that means that water can come in and out of it. And so we are going to see what happens when we put our egg in corn syrup.
Corn syrup?
Mm-hmm.
What's it gonna do? Is it gonna shrink?
We'll show you tomorrow. So today I'm just going to take this corn syrup and I'm going to cover my egg up with corn syrup, and then I'm going to put it back in the fridge and we'll see what happens to it. So
aren't you going to put colors in it?
Not in this one. And then with this one over here, here's our other egg. I'm going to put this one in some water. Pause for a second. Okay, so now we're going to take this other egg and we're going to put it in some water with food coloring. So come on over here, Emmy. So we're just going to put some water. This is just water and food coloring. And we're going to let it sit overnight and see what happens. I told you guys that that membrane that holds that little egg together is porous, and so it actually lets water in and out of it. So we're going to see what happens with this one that's in the corn syrup and this one that's in the food coloring, and we'll check back tomorrow and see what happens to them. Okay, we opened up our eggs this morning. We were just going to check on them and we accidentally got a hole in one of them, so I thought I better hurry and do this video so you guys can see what's happened to our eggs. So this is the one we put in the blue food coloring. Emma, go ahead and move your finger and show them what's happening there. Ah, look at that liquid coming out of there. We accidentally popped a hole in it, and as you can see, look down there, the liquid inside has turned blue. So that egg is completely blue now, except for the yolk. I don't think the yolk actually turns blue, but maybe we'll cut it open really fast and see. So, if we can get it to stop draining for a minute. Is that stopped for a minute? Okay, set it down on here and get a knife, Emma.
I don't know if we get like put pressure on it.
Oh, maybe you're right.
But
we can try. We'll make a mess. It's all good. So Emma's gonna get a knife and we're gonna cut it open and see what it looks like inside.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. So all the liquid inside is blue. You can see the membrane itself turned blue, but the egg yolk did not, and the white is kind of blue too. So anyway, so there's our nice messy egg. Now Emma, let's show them what happened to the other one. So this is the one we put in the food coloring. Now we're gonna come over here and show you the one that we put in the corn syrup. So here we go.
We're gonna cut this one too?
No, we don't need to cut that one. So as you can see, this one, the corn syrup actually sucks all of the moisture, all of the water and the vinegar out of the egg. And that happens because the membrane, that really thin little layer that covers the egg, is porous. And what porous means is that it has all these teeny tiny little holes, microscopic holes that you can't even see, but it lets water in and out and lets liquids in and out. So it's taken all of the extra vinegar and all of the water out of it, and all that's left in our egg now is the yolk and the protein. So, and if you look down here in our vinegar, or in our corn syrup, you can see there's a layer of vinegar on top of the corn syrup, and then there's a layer of the corn syrup underneath, which I thought was really kind of cool. So
Cut this one. That would be fun.
you can cut it open if you want to.
All right.
So anyway, so I hope that you will take time and make these with your mom and dad and do some exploring on your own. I know it's a little bit messy, but it sure is a lot of fun to see how that all works out. So anyway, thanks for tuning in this week, guys. See you later.
Is that the